Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Theatre Thoughts podcast. I have two brilliant creatives with me today to talk about a brand new production, The Lost Boys, which is coming to the Seymour Centre in November. So let me introduce them first of all. We have a multidisciplinary performer, writer, director and producer who's the current artistic director of the award-winning devising group, the Little Legs Collective. She studied acting at the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute and the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. Past credits include The Real Thing for STC, Wherever She Wanders for Griffin, and she's directed productions for Little Leg, including Pinocchio in 2018 and most recently Metropolis at the Hayes Theatre in 2023. It's Julie Robertson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Very happy to be here.
Yes. Sorry, I don't know why I said yes for you. That was really weird. And then secondly, we have an interdisciplinary, that's a mouthful, artist working across performance, drag, sound and dance. Their practice investigates the use of movement, improvisation and sound in live performance to explore themes of perception, identity, connection and gender glitches. Their recent credits include The Tenant of Wildfell for STC in 2022, Pollen at KXT in 2021, and Petite Suite for Brand X in 2021, and they're the current recipient of the Martin Bequest Scholarship. It's Eliza Scott.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So great to be here.
So now I've done my embarrassing little bio and camera. Now I can just get straight into that because that's the worst part of the podcast episode.
It was perfect. I loved it.
Well, I'm so excited to have you both here to talk about Little Legs because you guys have taken off in recent years, you know, with so many amazing shows under your belt.
Yeah.
And now you're coming with The Lost Boys as well. Is it sort of like a new sort of venture for you with the immersive sort of element?
Absolutely. I think that every project that we do is a new venture for us. It's kind of become a prerequisite to do something that we haven't done before and something that is fiercely ambitious. This was a project that has sort of been in the back of the Little Legs mind for a couple of years. And then bringing Eliza and Craig on board and saying, hey, why don't we make this a thing where everyone could be a lost boy and you could get lost in it? And what does that look like? And my eyes just went, yeah, we have never done that before. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So yeah, it's one of those things that is incredibly stressful, but ambitious as hell, and that makes it worth doing.
I love that. Ambitious is what we're looking for, really. Yeah. So what's your role in the production?
I am co-directing and performing in the production.
And it's not your first encounter with Little Legs. You kind of worked with them kind of recently before?
Yes, yeah. I was lucky enough to have Little Legs produce a show at KXT in 2021. And then I also teach and facilitate workshops with Little Legs, which is honestly a treat and a pleasure. And yeah, we've developed stuff before, and I just think best theatre company in town.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Throwing it out there. It's happening.
Well, I guess before we get too far into it, I'd love to know, like, for audiences who don't really know you or aware of Little Legs and yourselves, the best thing to know about the two of you. So what's the top things you need to know about, you know, Julia and Eliza?
Oh, gosh.
Top thing.
Top
Yeah.
things. Maybe I should do you and you do me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that'd be fun.
Okay.
Did I put too much stress on?
No, I love it.
Okay. Wait, do you want to go one for one?
Yeah, sure.
3 top things.
3 top things.
Okay.
Top thing about Julia, I'm looking into the camera. Top thing about Julia Robertson is incredible performer, incredible singer-songwriter and writer. And you said 1 for 1, but I'm jumping in.
Okay, sure.
And
There are no rules.
just like brings her whole self and like commitment and passion to everything that she does. So like when you know that she's involved in something, you know it's going to be good.
Wow. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, 3 things about Eliza Scott. Yeah, Eliza is someone who I've been super obsessed with, both from afar and up close, for a long time. They are, again, an amazing actor, just as a base. And then once I learnt that they made their own work and stuff, was like, that's even better. And just also an amazing musician. The lyricism of their work is so good. And then also just one of those human beings where I absolutely knew belonged in Little Legs because of their soul and heart and spirit and immense heart for people and immense capacity for people and community. And that's really important to us and to me.
That was very, very wholesome.
was
I loved that idea. Well done. That was great. I'm going to keep that for future podcasts. Well, as we get too far into it, I'd love to ask you, first of all, our theatre thoughts questions to kind of delve into your mind and kind of pick apart little bits of theatre, if that's okay.
Yes.
So because there's two of you, we'll do one for one.
Yep,
So I'll ask like one question and then these ones are rules. I'll ask one question and then like you one answer, and then we'll go to the next question and so on. Okay. Who'd like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, lovely. All right. So first question is, what has been your favourite production you've seen recently?
Favorite production. I saw a show last night called Big Dance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Do you know? There's a company called Dance Makers Collective.
Oh, no, I
and
haven't heard
they
of them.
are an incredible dance company, but they have a whole ensemble, a whole collective of dancers that they work with, and this one is like. Within their company, they've all choreographed different works using each company member. So you see all of these different shows by incredible people. And yeah, I love dance. So
Yeah.
Would recommend. And Emma Harrison is also a lost boy.
Oh, there you go.
She's doing it as well. But yeah,
Nice.
that would be the one that I've seen.
Great answer. I like it. Julia?
I just saw Slanted Theatre's production of
Boom?
Boom.
Yes, I went the other night. Yeah.
I thought Tiffany did a really lovely job, and it was just so great to see so many new faces on stage that I haven't seen before. All of them just bubbling with stuff. I want to see more from every single one of them. And yeah, I just thought it was a really beautiful, cohesive ensemble and full of things that I want to see more of.
Yeah.
From everyone. So it was really nice to be there. And also, I think it's one of those things when you're really, really busy in life and you're really tired all the time and you're sort of going, oh, do I have time to do that? And I was really glad that I made time for it.
That's great.
Yeah, it was lovely.
What a great view. I'll have to cut that in a snippet and send it to them. I love that. The second question was, what role... Oh, I guess it's a bit of a... Oh, yeah, no, this won't work. What role haven't you played yet that you'd still want to?
Hamlet.
That's mine.
Hamlet is like... I want to play Hamlet so badly.
Same. I'm connecting
tell
with you
you
right now, Eliza.
how much
yes.
I want to play Hamlet. I want to play Julius Caesar.
Oh, we're such nerds. I want to say Shakespeare ones too.
yes.
And I'm like, now I have to think of something that's not Shakespeare. But
Nice.
Not
Say it.
just Mark Antony. Hamlet and Mark Antony are like my two.
Wow. Great choices. Great choices.
They're epic.
A friend of mine actually did a production of Julius Caesar down in Wollongong recently, and they turned it into a beauty pageant. So it was like a
Wow.
murderous beauty pageant going after, Julius Caesar, I guess, was like the beauty queen of
Yeah.
it. And it was a comment on feminism and like pulling women down and stuff like that. And they got rave reviews, which is
Cool.
I
great.
really hope that
That
they...
sounds wild.
Yeah.
I really hope they used Sophie Ellis-Bextor in that. Met her on the dance floor.
Oh my God. Sorry. I was just like,
Kill the groove. So, I'm ready for that helium butter moment in schools.
what about yours?
Lady Macbeth is a big bucket list for me, I think, because the Scottish play is just one of my faves, whether I direct it or I play Lady Macbeth. I've always wanted to do that. I also want to play Iago.
Yes.
Because it'd just be really fun.
You'd be such a good Iago.
God, but what's not Shakespeare?
Isn't this funny? I had Nikita Waldron and Ziggy Resnick on, and I asked them this question. They said the exact same answers.
No.
They both wanted to do Shakespeare people like Iago,
I think it's because
Lady M.
as an actor, you like the one of the first texts that you're ever introduced to as a child and as someone who's interested in drama is Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So you have this like ongoing back of your mind sense of it. And like whether or not you enjoy doing it in real life, there's always going to be this part of you that has a Shakespearean character in mind.
Yeah.
Because it's been with you since you were like 10. So I think that's why it exists. But I mean, there are so many other texts that I would want to do. I think I would love to do more Tom Stoppards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like just the writing, it's just so yummy.
Yeah.
I think,
Great answers. I love that. That's so good. What was it? Name a play or a production that left you speechless.
I saw a piece recently in Avignon called Le Jardin des Délicatesses, which was
Oh, hang on. Let's say that. In Avignon.
Avignon.
In France.
Yes, in France.
I know where that is.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest theatre festivals in Europe.
Wow.
And they mainly commission new work, and it was an adaptation of Hieronymus Bosch's The Garden of Earthly Delights, and it was
I know that because I don't know why I looked at Marty. He wasn't in it. That was my
Marty?
second year uni show. We did a production
Really?
based on that. You remember Secret Garden? One where I'm not putting this on the podcast. Where I got nude. Yeah, I don't know if you. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Remember that?
Yeah, but we did that.
What uni did you go to?
UAW. Yeah, makes sense.
I was like, nude.
Yeah, UAW.
I've heard so many stories and you all just get naked. And
Oh,
I'm
it's
I love it.
literally.
It's incredible.
They're like,
Yeah.
you should be naked for this. Like, am I? Should I? No.
That's so funny.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hieronymus Bosch.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it was like set in this giant quarry outside, and it was just like about like the end of the world, and it was the most absurd thing that I've ever seen in my life, and I was like shaking with how much I loved it, and it was so funny and incredible.
That's
So,
great. I love that.
So good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going through like times in my life
Mm.
because I feel like there are certain shows that shook me then that probably wouldn't shake me now, but
Yeah.
were really important in like informing who I am and the artist that I am.
Yeah.
And I think one of the first ones that I can remember really shaking me and me loving was when I had to write a review of when I was 16 called Honor Bound.
Okay.
And I think it was an international touring show, and it was about like prisoners of war, and they hung people upside down naked with like bags on their heads. And I remember my mum sitting next to me being like, I should not have brought you.
Oh,
But
no.
it was also a physical theatre piece, and I remember they had a big grate up the back.
Yeah.
And maybe it was Australian. I don't know, but it was one that just changed me. And then I think in uni I saw Adina Jacobs' Wizard of Oz at Belvoir, and it was the first thing that I'd seen on a main stage that wasn't a play or wasn't like traditional theatre.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the design rocked my world, and the
Wow.
fact that you could just do things with design or with soundscape and like
Yeah.
not make a play.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool. But then I think one of the most recent things that really shook me was A Christmas Carol that I saw in London.
Yeah.
At the Old Vic, and it was like the most I have ever experienced Christmas spirit. And like it snowed over the audience, and there were like kids in the front like catching the snow, and I just bawled my eyes out.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Like they passed food through the audience and stuff, and that was like so traditional storytelling,
yeah.
ensemble-based theatre, and
Yeah.
the words are so beautiful. But that one I was like, so it's funny how like different moments of my life just really rocked me, but they're so vastly different in their kind of presentation of style.
Right.
Sorry, there's three. I
No.
shouted.
No, they're
Tick,
all
tick, tick.
incredible.
I love it all.
Love them.
What one do I want to ask you? That one's very similar. Oh, what is your pre-show ritual, or do you have a pre-show ritual?
I mean, I usually arrive and like do a long physical warm up, and do a lot of just like physical improvisation and things like that. And then vocal warm up, and then just like sit for a while. But yeah, I mean, my ritual varies depending on what kind of show I'm doing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Recently it's been a lot more dance work, so has been more along that line. But yeah, then I need to like, or if it's like a text show, sometimes I'll just like stand and like go through all the text for the entire show like before going on, and like that I don't really have a ritual actually. I don't have
think I
like
do
a
either.
ritual.
Yeah, right.
I think every show that I do, I watch what the other actors are doing.
Yeah.
And I go, and I just do what they do for a while, and then I'm like, ready. But
Let's go.
yeah, I think warm-ups have never been my strong suit. I always just want people to be together. I'm like, let's do it together.
Yeah,
let's
nice.
get together.
Yeah.
Because I think my pre-show ritual is like making sure that we're all in the same play.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
arriving with my ensemble.
Yeah.
It's always so important to and I hug everyone and just
Oh,
make sure I'm
nice.
like connected to everybody in the
Yeah.
show. and that we've all got each other out there. That's probably the one thing that I would do.
Yeah. And the last question was, which production would you most want to see come to Australia?
Oh, so many.
So
Which
many.
production would I most want to see come to Australia?
Yeah.
That's on right now?
No, just in general. It could be on in Broadway or West End that you love, or just a show
Oh, man.
you'd love to come.
Man, oh man. Christmas Carol did come.
It did. It's coming back. Yeah.
Vanya. It's on at the moment.
Andrew Scott?
Yes.
Yeah.
Andrew Scott, Simon Stevens, one-person show. I was meant to see it. And I had to come home early, and it just looks like the most incredible thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
That's what
right.
I want to tour here.
Cool.
But they just announced that they're doing a National Theatre live version of it, and it's coming out in February.
yes.
So
Great.
Thank
I'm
you.
ready to.
Love that. You will be there at the
Very
cinema.
specific. I'll be there like, yes, Andrew, speak to me.
I'll come back to Andrew in a second, actually.
Okay.
Hey, I'm trying to think of ones that I missed while I was in London. That people were like, oh, you should have. And I was like, yeah, and I missed it. But I saw so many.
Did you see Cabaret?
I did. Yes, it was so
That's really
good.
It's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, I kind of just gone through everything that I could. I'm trying to think of like a big musical that I'd really love to see here.
Oh, yeah.
I think because some of the stagecraft in the musicals that you get to see overseas, where you're just like, it's the
Yeah.
monumental like mechanisms
Yeah.
that are super awesome that we just don't really have even room for here. Yeah, maybe it's Beetlejuice. Is Beetlejuice coming?
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
coming.
It's
Yeah.
definitely coming.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Oh, well, the new.
The
Yeah,
new one,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
talking to one of our previous guests today about that. I saw that,
incredible.
and I cannot stop thinking about
Yeah.
it.
It's one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's in
Well, maybe
my
it's that one
brain.
For me. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You know, the funny thing about it was, at the time, it wasn't. I was like,
Really?
what am I, what's going on? Do I like this? Do I not like this? And I swear to you, there is not a day that has gone past that I haven't thought about it.
Me too.
I like
Yeah.
those shows though as well, where you're just like, there's so much, and it takes you like a while to be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And those are the shows that you want to go back and see.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that means that they've done a really good job. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? Where you're like, now I'm hooked. It's like,
Yeah.
it's so good. I'd love to have a Sleep No More here.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
have, like,
That was immersive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think the extent of the experience
Right.
is just so monumental that describing it to people who haven't been able to travel overseas and see it is you can't even begin. I'm always
Yeah,
just
right.
trying to describe it, and I'm like, you have to experience it to sense the scale
Yeah.
of a work like that. Where I'm like, it's an entire building. It really is.
Yeah.
And I'd love that to happen, but that's the most expensive version of
Yeah. Of any Shakespeare. I was saying about Eliza, not Eliza Scott, you're Eliza Scott. Andrew
Andrew,
Scott.
my father.
Yeah, Andrew. Andrew.
my relative.
I had the sincere privilege of seeing him play Hamlet, and it is
Oh my god.
it is hands down the best production of Hamlet I've seen. And I saw the National Theatre live of Benedict, my brother,
Yeah.
playing, because I love him,
Yes,
playing
I saw that one
Hamlet,
too, yeah.
and I think Andrew did a better job.
I've seen
Yeah.
clips of that one, and like, I cry watching it.
Yeah.
His Hamlet is like
Yeah.
the way that it's like, yeah, it's just that nerdy thing where it's like, oh, I've never heard this before. But
Yeah.
when he's like, to be or not to be, and I'm like,
But also the way they did, and the
You're
way
so
he
right.
speaks Hamlet, it sounded like English, if that makes sense. It sounded like not Elizabethan English. It just sounded like he was speaking plain English. And I was like, I understand every single word you're saying right now.
Yeah.
And that to me was just like
incredible.
consolidated Hamlet for me.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the best.
So good. Well, thank you so much for answering those. They were great. They were probably my favorite so far. They were awesome. Well, we'll take a quick little break, and then we'll talk about The Lost Boys.
Cool.